We came in U.S. 1999 with my husband. While both of our children stayed home with their parents. The reason for us to come here was to learn some agricultural business and also to try to correct our financial situation back home. Because after we graduated college, we started farming in Russia. We rented land and we had a few acres of our private land. But our knowledge of finances and the lack of financial system back in Russia in 1990s brought us to deep debts and to debts to private people. So we could not get rid of those debts by filing bankruptcy, for example. The Institute of Bankruptcy did not even exist then in Russia. So we really needed to make some money quickly to pay the debts. We sold whatever we could back home and then still borrowed some money from friends to buy a ticket to come here. So our program was called the International Dairy Program, which basically placed us on farms in Minnesota and Wisconsin where we worked on dairy farms. It's called Learning by Doing. So we basically worked on dairy farm, milked cows, learn how to take care of calves, cleaning the manure and doing all those kind of things. And the program was along with the University of Wisconsin. So once a month we would have some lectures. We will have a get together in medicine, and the professors would come in and give us some lectures on nutrition, on mostly it was dairy. The milking techniques, there is a lot to learn there. So we kind of were learning. Same time we were making money that went back home. Okay, well, when we eventually, once we got the green card, we wanted to move from Minnesota to a warmer place. I realized that it's difficult in the winter time, although we're from Russia, but in Russia I didn't have to work this much with the cows outside in the winter time. So we decided that we would look for something warmer, and there was a position open at Horizon Organic Dairy, which is here in Kennedyville. It used to be, I think, it owned by somebody else now, but they hired us and we moved from there to here. So we had a minivan and we rented the smallest U-Haul, little hook up behind the little box and whatever we had there, mostly dishes, and brought it here to Horizon. They provided us a small house there in addition to our salaries. So we moved to a place that was already existed for us to stay. It was a very small 500 square feet house. So after Horizon, him and I, we were hired to work for Edwin Fry. It's a family here in Chestertown. They have a big dairy farm. We were hired to run the farm on the Western Shore in the former Naval Academy dairy farm that Ed was leasing from Naval Academy. So this is how we moved back from here to Annapolis area. Okay. And Peter stayed there for 2 years and then left, but I stayed for another 4 because children were still in school in Anne Arundel County High School. The farm was very close to school. It was really convenient for us. Right. And this is how I learned about the resources that are available for people like me to purchase a property, purchase land, because the owners, my bosses, were very responsive to every my request. If I can go to a workshop or to a conference, so they would pay for it. I'd go and I would learn a lot of things there that I will implement into the business with them. But eventually I started thinking, okay, what do I do next? I'm a 40-year-old woman, my husband's gone. What's my life? How do I see my life for later, and my grown children, the colleges are coming. So I realized, since I have this experience and I have a knowledge, I decided to look into closer into the possibilities of buying my own place. I wanted home. I wanted to create home for my family. I wanted us to root here. I wanted us to know this is our home. So I was looking into how I can get the loan. I was not able to get anything from the bank because of the salary I was getting was little, right. So nobody would finance me. But USDA has a wonderful program that helps socially disadvantaged minority, immigrant, beginning farmers. They help them to purchase land. So basically was a business plan that you provide, and you had to have knowledge or experience. I was able to acquire that loan. Because at the place where I worked for Fry's, one of my responsibilities that they wanted me to develop organic garden, market garden. So I started working towards that, and we grew a lot of different vegetables, and I started selling them at an Arundel County farmers market. So I knew that I cannot buy a lot of land and I cannot buy a lot of equipment. So my model was in my head was small farm, very intense, dense farming, to produce different things, and many of them. So the person who comes to my booth at the market would just stay with me and buy everything from me. So I knew it has to be diversified. Well, it is interesting because cooking, as I told you earlier when you came, it is my. I like it. I like to explore new recipes, and for me, it's a relaxation time. And I also like to host. I don't have time going out meet my friends, so I try to get them in to my place. So I'm kind of killing two birds with the same stone, doing, it's my hobby, that's my friends who I love, this is my relaxation time. And eventually one of them said, why don't you start doing it? That will make you some money. So I said, I don't know. And then I thought more and more about that, and eventually my son's support and help, he said, well, let's do it, Mom. So we kind of started. We met, at that time we already knew Happy Chicken Bakery, Martha and Zach, because we rented commercial kitchen from them.
I see.
So our relationship was nice and trustful, and so we thought we could do it together, and we kind of discussed it and came up with this. Well, we have our eggs. We have our pastured raised eggs, which means the chickens are on the grass and eating grass and bugs and everything they should eat instead of sitting in cages as a commercial production. And then my feed is non-GMO and non-soy. I noticed that there are a lot of people who have allergies for soy product, and there were demand for eggs that have no soy in their feed.
Wow.
And having it non-GMO also brought a certain customers to me that pay pretty high for the eggs, and this way I sell out of my eggs. I never have extra. I sell out. I would sell twice more if I had more room here. I would have more chickens. I just don't have enough to. It also fit with my philosophy about organic farming and organic produce and chemicals, and how we harm a lot of things by using them everywhere, not only in agriculture but also everywhere else.
Yeah.
So it's all there's a philosophy behind all stuff that I do. So.